Good morning students, I am SK Theory and today I am going to teach you class 7 mathematics of chapter lines and angles. Students, first of all, before I start to my teaching, I want to convey my message that be stay in your homes and continue through online teaching mode, that is join with Google Meet, and for the concept you can take the help of my sent videos through our YouTube channel Theory Online Classes. So students, this line and angles have some TLO, target learning outcomes. First, complementary and the supplementary angles. Second, adjacent angle. Third is the linear pair of angles. Fourth is the angle made by transversal and the transversals of the parallel lines. That is, we should have to learn about these points in these videos. So let us start the geometrical part, that is basic geometrical concepts. That what do you mean by a point? Suppose I put here one point. So this point, suppose it is a plane surface, and in plane surface, if it has no length, breadth and height, that is thickness will not be there, length and breadth will not be there, that such things is called the point. If we put the points and join together, this is called line. If any line has definite length, this is called line segment. So students, it is very clear that there is no end point in line, while in line segments two end point is existing and its length is definite. Another thing, you think that ray, it is very clear, ray has one end point and in another it is endless. This is called ray. It is denoted by like this one. Now you come to our next head teaching points, that is, if two line segments, suppose here it is AV and AC, there are the two line segments, they meet with a fixed point A. This is called as vertex, and inclination which is made between them, this is called angle. So angle is the inclination of two line segment which meet with a fixed vertex, that is called the angle. Angle has one vertex while two arms. Now come to the complementary and supplementary angle. There are two types of angle. Now we will study about this one. So complementary and supplementary, the two angles you think that you can think here. You can very easily understand that its value will be 90 degree. The angle BAC or CAB, its value will be 90 degree. So if the sum of two angles, suppose one another line can be joined with vertex A. This is called AD. So two angles has been made here. This is angle CAD and another is DAB or BAD. So if the sum of two angles is 90 degree, that is angle CAD plus angle DAB, its value is 90 degree. Such type of angle is called complementary angle. It is very clear that these two angles are adjacent angle. So in other words, we can say that if the sum of two adjacent angles is 90 degree, that is right angle, these angles are called the complementary angle. Students, you go to the next point. This is supplementary angle. Suppose this is linear pair. If it is AB, O is a point and another line segment is OD. So two angles, two adjacent angles has been framed. This is AOD and angle BOD, which is 180 degrees. So this such type of angle is called supplementary angle. We can say that the sum of two adjacent angle, if it is 180 degrees or two right angle, it is called supplementary angle, and these two angles are called the linear pair of angles. So if the sum of the angles is 180, this is called supplementary, and the sum of two angles is 90, it is called complementary angle. Very easily in the questions it has given you should have to find the complementary angle. What you can do, you subtract one angle which has given in the question from the 90, you can obtain the complementary angle, while for the supplementary angle you should have to subtract the given angle from 180 degrees, you can obtain the supplementary angle. Another, you come the adjacent angle. It is very clear that adjacent angle are those angle which vertex is common, one arm is common, and they are very close to each other. That is, suppose like this one, these two examples are the adjacent angles. So either in the complementary or the supplementary angle, we can say that these are the adjacent angles. So linear pair of angles, if the sum of two angles is 180 degree and it must be in a straight line, this such type of pair of angles are called the linear pair of angles. Now you think about the another conditions, that is the line segment can be called as the different names. Suppose in some cases, if two line segment this is do not intersect at any point, if we extend its edges, that is, we can say that you can take the example of railway tracks. In railway tracks, the lines do not meet to each other. So on such conditions, we can say that this is example of the parallel lines. So parallel lines are those lines which the length of between the two lines remain the same in every point. If we can extend it, it is also remain the same. So these lines are called the parallel lines, and if any line intersect, this is called transversal line. So these are the parallel lines. Suppose it is L, it is M, and this line is N. This is called parallel, and these are the parallel lines. And N is called the transversal line. Now you think about the situation. Suppose L and M, there are two parallel lines, and N is a transversal line which is intersect to each other, that is both the parallel lines. So what will happen? The angle will be framed. Suppose it is angle 1, 2, 3, 4, it is 5, 6, 7 and 8. So you can think that this such type of cases, what type of angle will be called and what relation will exist for the transversal and the parallel lines intersect to a point. So you can say that there are two angles. First is the corresponding angles, another is the vertical opposite angle. So one example you can take. Let AB and CD are two lines which intersect at a point O. Obviously the angle, suppose it is 1, it is 2, that will be equal, that is angle 1 is equal to angle 2, and this is called vertically opposite angle. Like the same, suppose this is angle 3 and this is angle 4. So obviously 3 and 4 will be also vertically opposite angle. Now corresponding angle, you can think the same angle I am writing here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So what you can see, angle 1 and 4, that is the vertically opposite angle will be diagonal sides, that is 1 and 4, 2 and 3, 5 and 8, 7 and 6. These are the vertically opposite angles which are situated diagonally to each other. While the same you can think the another cases. Suppose angle 1 and angle 5, angle 2, angle 6, angle 1 5, 2 6, 3 7 and 4 8. These are the corresponding angles. While the two lines intersect to each other, then interior angles will be this 3, 4, 5, 6. These four angles which are make or the situated inside the two parallel lines, these all angles are called the interior angles. So these are some conditions. If the two lines are parallel to each other, their corresponding angles will be equal, their vertically opposite angles will be equal, and another case is the sum of the two interior angles in a same side, that is angle 3 plus angle 5 is equal to 180 degrees, or angle 4 plus angle 6, that will be also 180 degrees. So there are the three conditions. First is vertically opposite angles will be equal to each other, corresponding angles will be equal to each other, and sum of the interior angles in one side, that is angle either 3 plus 5 or 4 plus 6, their sums will be 180 degrees. So by this one we can prove that lines are parallel. So there are the three conditions: either the corresponding angles will be equal, or vertically opposite angles will be equal, and third one is the sum of the interior angles on the same side will also equal to 180 degrees. So by verifying this one, we can understand that two lines will be parallel to each other. These are the teaching point, these are the main contents of this chapter, and I think in chapter 5, lines and angles, very easy chapter, basic geometrical concepts we have studied already. We are learning from the class 5th, so I think 5th 6th, and now we are learning. So it's, you should have to start from the point, after that ray, next line and line segments, angles, and we will come to our teaching point, that is complementary, supplementary angles, adjacent and linear pair of angles, angle made by transversal, that is one is the transversal line while another is the parallel lines. By knowing this such type of concepts, we can solve the questions which has given in the NCERT book, and I think you should have to start and you can solve very easily. I think any kind of the problems of the difficulties you will feel, I will clarify all your doubts, difficulties, any problems. I am remaining in the classes and you start to solve the question. Thank you.